Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast.
Hey guys.
It's been a little minute.
I know.
Since we've been together.
It's been forever. We got tans now, like.
Right? Got our little summer tan on, but today we're going to talk about Sha'Carri Richardson and the whole marijuana use debate. But before we do that, go ahead and grab your drinks.
Cheers.
You're listening to Tash and Nix.
I didn't have to say boo because we're first.
So yeah, guys. So there's a little bit of controversy currently surrounding Sha'Carri. And before we get into that, though, we got a bit of an icebreaker. The Olympics are coming up, and I personally enjoy watching the Olympics. I ran track in college. Tash ran in high school. I've always loved it. I actually probably watch every sport, most likely every sport in the Olympics. I try to. But track and field is one of my favorite things to watch. Like, I absolutely love watching track. I love watching the Caribbean nations run. I, of course, love watching the USA team run. I think they're probably some of the most talented athletes. So we're just going to ask, like, what's your favorite Olympic sport to watch?
Well, I don't watch at all. I guess I watch a little bit, but not like, I'm not like every year I'm waiting on the Olympics to come on. I'm so excited. I guess when I do watch, I do like to watch gymnastics. Like, I love Simone Biles.
Mm-hmm. I love her.
Yeah. I could watch her all the time.
Yeah.
She's great.
She's amazing. She's like the standard. Like, her standard is so high. Like, I hate that they even like penalize her for doing things that other people can't do.
Yeah.
But I will definitely be watching them. I know, like, in 2008, the male gymnastics team was actually really, really good. I remember watching them being like, damn, they were really lit, actually. I love watching them. I even love swimming. We have a few black athletes that have qualified for the Olympics as well. In swimming, I'm going to be watching that. Definitely track and field. I was super excited watching Sha'Carri, and I was actually super excited watching Allison Felix. She's probably one of my other favorite athletes of all time. She's been nothing but amazing since she went pro, like when she was a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
So
I've heard of her.
Yes, there's a girl that she trains in Austin. Gabby Thomas. She lives in Austin, or they train in Austin. So
okay.
She I think she graduated from Harvard or something like that. Yeah, she's super smart and she's fast. She's going for the 200. Yeah, they're super talented, and we have a lot of really awesome athletes this year. So let us know what's one of your guys' favorite Olympic sports to watch. Are you guys excited? I know the Olympics only come around every 4 years. However, because we didn't have one because of COVID, technically this is our 2020 Olympics. So just let us know what you guys think. What's your favorite Olympic sport to watch? So
yeah, comment below what your favorite Olympic sport is to watch. I should get into track more, especially since I used to run. I'm sure it's interesting to watch.
It is so good to watch. I even sometimes watch the AAU meets of the younger kids that go to Junior Olympics and stuff. It is so exciting to see a freaking 10-year-old run. Pretty sure she can run faster than me currently, but a 10-year-old run a 400 in less than 60 seconds. It's really good.
What did you run when you ran track?
So when I was in high school, I did sprints. So I did the 1 and the 2, and I was on the relays, the 4x1 and the 4x4. But where I grew up in the Midwest, you actually can only choose to do 4 sports or 4 events. So in Texas, you can do 5. And up north in the Midwest, you can only do 4. So I also was a jumper. So I would do triple and long. So whichever one, if I was doing better in the 100 or the 200, it depends. They always made room for me to do triple or long jumps. So when I went to college, I still jumped, and then I still sprinted. But sophomore year, they transitioned me into something called we call it multi-eventers, or the multis, which is just the pentathlon indoor and the heptathlon outdoor. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy.
I mainly just did the 400 when I was in high school, and I did the 200 from time to time, but 400 was mainly my specialty. That's a hard one.
I hated the 400.
You basically have to sprint that whole time.
I hated
it's the longest sprint ever.
One thing, though, when you're in high school, you have to run a good 400 no matter what you're doing. If you're doing any of the sprints, which technically sometimes even people go up from, they say the 800 on down is a sprint. It ain't. But you have to run a good quarter in order to go to college. It's just something that you have to do. So I commend you on that, because I hated the 400.
It was hard. It really was.
I hated it.
Well, I guess we can go ahead and get into the conversation about Sha'Carri and the marijuana use.
So let's tell you a little bit about her. She's from Dallas. She's representing Texas, She's been in the news a lot because people have commented on her appearance, which kind of irritated me a little bit because there are plenty of track athletes who had the long fingernails and like the colorful long hair. But she was just one of many. And not only that, she was just a breakout star. I mean, she went to LSU and as a freshman, and she set records. Like I think she ran like she broke like 10.75 her freshman year in the 100, and that's really good for a woman. Like the sixth fastest time of all time in terms of like women in the United States, and that's really fast. So
yeah, that's amazing.
She turned pro and started her career, and here comes the Olympics, and so to get into it, Sha'Carri tested positive for marijuana. First of all, what pissed me off was that these news outlets were making it seem like she tested positive for a banned substance, making it sound like she did steroids.
Crack.
You know what I mean? You said crack. And that really made me mad because it made it seem like the things that she did prior were just already invalidated without going into detail on what she tested positive for. Mm-hmm. So we found out that it was marijuana. And so then that caused a little bit of a controversy too. But then some background to that, she had just lost her mother when that happened. And so she smoked to, I guess, relieve the stress that she was under.
Yeah.
So initially the report was that she admitted to it, took the 30-day ban or suspension, which would have disqualified her for running in the 100 meters. But then when the report came out from the whatever bureau, whoever does their stuff for them, she wasn't on the Olympic list for even the 4x1 because her suspension would have technically lifted by the time the 4x1 was ready. So basically she's not going.
Yeah.
At all. She's going to miss out on the 2021 Olympics. So,
it's crazy.
So first of all, do you think she was to blame?
Ultimately, yeah. Because she knew the rules, but it's kind of like I don't know. I'm torn because it's marijuana. It's not like it enhances her ability to run
at all.
It's not steroids. In the state that she used it in, it's actually legal. But it is the rules, and she knew that was a rule. So ultimately, yes, she has to take accountability for that. And she did. I was very happy that she did take accountability for that. I think it's a stupid rule at the same time, and it shouldn't even be a rule for anybody.
Yeah.
Because it's not steroids. It's not going to enhance her performance. So
it's not like she was on cocaine and ran the 100.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was weed. And we're not trying to say, negate any responsibility on her part. It's just that she did accept it. There are athletes who have literally lied under oath and said, I've never taken steroids or a banned substance. And they clearly did. And it just irritated me that she was the poster child for this when there are other athletes who actually took banned substances and you don't even know about it. Mm-hmm. So I agree with you. I mean, she is to blame to a certain extent. I do understand why she did it. I definitely get that. I've never been in a situation like her, but I get it. And then, I mean, she does know the rules. I mean, you have to take accountability. Like, if you know that you're going to be getting tested, it's a possibility it's going to come up, So, I don't know.
At the same time, I think they said a reporter was the one that told her that her mother passed away.
Yes.
I think anybody would have went home and lit one up.
While she's doing an interview, excuse me? That was very disrespectful, and I'm sure that was stressful.
Extremely distasteful, yeah.
It was. I would have cussed that reporter out and stopped the interview because that's not cool.
Yeah.
But she was. Do you think though that she was punished fairly?
So they suspended her for 30 days? Right?
So they gave her a 30-day suspension. She, of course, tested positive and she did a whole interview. I felt horrible watching that interview. You could tell she was just so torn, But they gave her a 30-day suspension because again, it was not like a steroid.
Yeah.
And so technically the 30-day suspension should have ended after, so it was going to end after the 100, but before the 4x1. But they still banned her for the 4x1. Do you think that was completely fair?
I don't think that's completely fair. If you're going to say 30 days, then it should just be 30 days. She should be able to participate in the rest of whatever she was going to be doing in the Olympics.
Yeah,
but I think 30 days is fair.
Yeah,
it doesn't sound like that's overboard. If it was 6 months or something, come on.
I agree with that. I also think that it's fair. I mean, like I said, she tested. She admitted to it. I don't think it's fair that she can't run the 4x1. That bothers me because I was really looking forward to seeing her run. But yeah, I don't think that part is fair. If it was lifted after 30 days and she's still eligible, then why the hell not? Like, she should have ran. But yeah.
So there's actually talks of boycotting the Olympics.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I'm not boycotting the Olympics. I'm sorry, y'all. But, we're going to deal with racism no matter what, no matter what country, unless you're fortunate enough to come from like a Caribbean country or even a black country where you have a lot of black pride and all that. You're going to face racism. Like, they're talking about banning like the swim caps for Afro hair. And, they're saying that there's a lot of racist things going on in Tokyo. And they're like, well, and then the Sha'Carri thing happened. And so now they were angry and they're like, let's boycott all the Olympic sports. I'm like, y'all do know that there's other black athletes, like, that we need to support. And I don't know if you guys know this, but they're not allowed to have their family over there. So Tokyo is banning even their families from coming overseas. So we should support them. Like, that's personally how I feel. Do you feel the same? Yeah,
there's other black athletes, so I don't know why you would boycott the whole Olympics because of her. Like, that's just silly to me. You should support the other black athletes that are going to be
there. Are plenty more, and it's ridiculous. And I think it's silly to even call for a ban because of that. But because of the circumstances. I mean, she did what she did. Yeah. She took responsibility. And I know I don't like some of the things that are going on in Tokyo. However, I'm still going to absolutely 100% support the other athletes that are going. And not just black athletes. I have some really awesome, dope-ass athletes that I love from different countries, different ethnicities. I'm watching.
Yeah, so correct. Same, I'm watching too.
So I ran track in college, and for me, I'm going to give an example of a time where so every athlete has a code of conduct that you have to sign, and it's like about underage drinking, all this stuff. I mean, our coaches even bring us to the side and talk about sex with us and being protected and make sure you got your cycles, ladies, like old men teaching us about our cycles. So I'm going to give an example of a time where we had an athlete who got into a lot of trouble and broke the code of conduct. I'm not going to say her name, love her to death, but she's now a coach, a head coach actually for track and field at a really awesome college or university, I'm sorry. And so she ended up getting what's called an MIC, which is a minor in consumption. And that just means you're underage drinking and you got caught by the police. And so I didn't drink at first when I went to college. It took me some time to actually drink, but I did. I drank when I was under the age of 21, which a lot of college students do. And we are also athletes at the same time. So we're supposed to be like bound to these greater rules, but it's like, we're still young adults, you know? And so she got caught. So a lot of times when the police would come, we would run. Like when they would bust up like the really dope ass baseball parties, we would get out of there. She got caught. Okay. So when she got caught, she got arrested, all of that shit. Oh, I felt so bad for her. And she was one of our best athletes, like literally one of our best throwers, period. Like she was one of the best throwers in the country. Dang. Yes. And so she ended up, she could possibly get suspended. Mm-hmm. So we had to go into this room. The coach was like, hey, you guys signed this code of conduct, but we're going to do a vote. We're going to do a vote to see who wants to keep her in and who wants to keep her out because, you know, these are the rules. This is how it's supposed to go, blah, 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 blah. And he was a really big Christian man, like really big on faith. Girl, we had to do a show of hands. And I'm like, everybody should put their hands up as who wants to keep her because, like, we need her. Like, we want to win as a team. Right. There are some haters that were like, they're like, who wants her off the team? I was like, damn. I remember this. I remember these hoes. Like, you know, there are people who did not vote for her. And I'm like,
wanted to be the star players and shit.
And they weren't. Yeah. You know? And they weren't. So I think they're still living in a little house on the prairie somewhere. I don't know what they're doing. They should. Yeah. And so, of course, when he voted in favor, like the majority of us voted, you know, in favor. And I was just still mad about that. Like, are y'all dumb? Do y'all want to win? Like, we have nationals coming up. But yeah, she ended up, we ended up letting her back on the team, but our coach made her run like 50 hills. And I don't know if you guys know what hills are, but like the hill we ran was called Big Bertha, and it was like 200 meters up. She had to run 50 of them. She was like vomiting on the side. Like, it was horrible.
I would just quit that day.
Like, okay. No, she took her punishment. Like, she took the punishment and, you know, like, she chilled after that. But yeah, I remember like people, they wanted to throw her off the team. I was really like mad about that. I get it, but we all are having a good time. Maybe y'all aren't, but we're all having a good time. But they weren't invited to any parties after that. Like, hell no. Do you know anybody like that? Like any situations?
I ran track in high school, but I really can't think of any like situations where somebody got in trouble for drinking. I mean, definitely a lot of people were. I don't remember them getting like actually in trouble for it. I don't even remember signing like any type of code of conduct or anything like that. So I don't have an example as far as that, but I don't know if you've seen, a lot of people were comparing Sha'Carri to Michael Phelps' situation.
Yeah.
So I guess he got suspended for using marijuana also.
Yeah.
There were a couple of differences. I think in at the time that he did it, marijuana was illegal everywhere. So it was that factor. And then I think he got suspended for like a couple months, I think.
Yeah, he did.
Than her.
People are like, what about Michael Phelps? I'm like, I mean, he wasn't competing during the time.
Yeah.
He got caught. Someone like took a video of him or a picture, you know, them people are supposed to be your friends, ain't your friends.
Yeah.
And then he got suspended for it. I mean,
he got punished. Like, it just so happens it wasn't around Olympic.
Correct.
Like, he got punished. A lot of people were comparing that, like, oh, nothing happened to him, but
like he did. He lost sponsorships and stuff. Like he definitely did. He's a human being, like we all are. We all make mistakes. I feel like that's just stupid. Like that his teammate Ryan Lochte. I don't know if y'all remember him, but he ended up, there was a bug flying. He ended up like lying. They were like in Brazil. He ended up lying about getting like robbed from like a local Brazilian. He didn't get the punishment he deserved. Yes, girl, you need to look that up.
That's crazy.
It was like a whole ordeal. Then he comes on television, a grown ass man, okay, trying to apologize for making the whole thing up after the fact. No, he was out. They were told not to be out during those time frames because you're in a different country.
Yeah.
He was doing the most, and he got himself caught, and they lied about being robbed. Like, who does that? Yes. The white privilege.
You know what? Like, speaking of sponsorships, did you see Sha'Carri was offered some type of like CDC or whatever
company.
A vape company.
Yeah.
Offered her like some type of endorsement. I don't think she's gonna take it.
No, I hope she doesn't take it.
It wouldn't even be worth it.
No, not for $250. No. Yeah. And Nike's standing beside her, which does surprise me because sometimes Nike does not stand behind our black athletes. But Nike stood behind Sha'Carri. So I just think for her, and hopefully she has a good team around her and in her ear, I just think for her, she should just say no to that endorsement deal.
Yeah.
Because it's not funny. You know what I'm saying? Like, this poor girl, she's super young. Like, she still has a lot to go. I think she's only 20 now. I think she's either 19 or 20. I think she was born in, like, 2005.
I thought so. People are acting like she can't do the Olympics next year.
Yeah. She has to wait now 3 years, technically, to go to the Olympics again.
She has to wait 3 years?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, that's excessive.
Yeah, she has to wait now.
I thought she only had the 30-day suspension.
She does, but the Olympics only come around every 4 years.
Oh, it only comes around.
Correct.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah. So now she has to wait.
23, 24.
She does. Sometimes people peak, though. They all know that. Track athletes peak in their 20s. That's what they say. But I mean, shit. Like, we know a lot of older athletes who still compete and are still amazing and like in their 30s, you know. So
she'll still be young.
She'll still be, fabulous. I really hope that she does get her time to shine in the Olympics. She is the fastest woman on earth.
Sucks. Yeah, y'all can tell I don't watch it because I thought it came out.
I was like, girl.
I'm like, but don't she got next year?
No. But she can do other things.
That's why people are really tripping. Okay.
Yes. And they can do other things. There's like Worlds. There's like the Diamond Invitational. Like there's a lot of things that they can still do and still like win and, you know, whatever. But it does suck that she's going to have to wait another 3 years. Yeah. So she just got to be on her, you know, her.
Yeah, I did not realize that. Wow.
Yeah. She got to be on her shit. I really wish her nothing but success. I hope that she's successful after this. I hope to see her win the gold in the 2024 Olympics. Mm-hmm. I really do.
But still support the Olympics, please. Don't boycott it because she can't go. That's so stupid.
It's dumb.
Yeah.
And again, people, since the beginning of the time, they've had it out against us. They never wanted us to prevail, you know. So they can take away our little bonnets or swim caps. They can do all these other things. But the truth is, we got to show up and show out and let them know that, hey, we're here.
Yeah. Right now, these flies have it out against us.
Yes, they do. Okay, so we can boycott flies. But don't boycott the Olympics.
Don't boycott it. I think that's all we have for them on that subject, Nicole.
Yeah, let us know what you guys think about Sha'Carri, and do you think it's fair? Do you think it's not fair? Don't forget to like and subscribe, of course. Let us know your thoughts, and that's it.
All right, guys.
Bye.